How did Costco perform in Q1 fiscal 24? Starting with the reported net income, Costco boasted a hefty $1.589 billion, or $3.58 per share, marking an increase from last year's $1.364 billion or $3.07 per share. Now, let's talk tax benefits. Costco saw a tax benefit of $44 million or 10 cents per share, which is primarily related to stock-based compensation. This figure is a slight decrease from last year's $53 million or 12 cents per share. Also worth noting is a charge of $93 million pre-tax or 15 cents per share, which was related to downsizing charter shipping activities. As for net sales, Costco reported an impressive $56.72 billion, up by 6.1% from last year's first quarter. You might be wondering, what contributed to this increase? Well, it appears that the fiscal calendar shift, due to the 53rd week in fiscal 2023, played a role, benefiting net sales by 0.5% to 1% both in the US and worldwide. So, we've seen some increases and some decreases, but overall, Costco's Q1 fiscal 24 financial report tells a story of growth and resilience in the face of challenging circumstances. Quite an interesting quarter, wouldn't you agree? Let's delve deeper into the comparable sales and key metrics. The US reported a 2% comparable sales excluding gas deflation and foreign exchange, and a slightly higher figure at 2.6% when considering these factors. Canada, on the other hand, outshined with 6.4% excluding gas and foreign exchange, and 8.2% when these are accounted for. Other international markets also showed an impressive 11.2% growth excluding gas and foreign exchange, and 7.1% otherwise. Now let's not forget about e-commerce. It reported a growth of 6.3% and 6.1% excluding foreign exchange. In terms of traffic and shopping frequency, there was an increase of 4.7% worldwide and 3.6% in the US. However, the average transaction was down by 0.9% worldwide and 1.6% in the US. The impact of foreign currencies versus the US dollar positively impacted sales by approximately 0.4%, while gasoline price deflation negatively impacted sales by approximately 0.6%. Numbers do tell a compelling story, don't they? Membership growth and gross margin. Essential aspects to consider. Membership fee income reported was a little over $1 billion, an increase of 8.2%. Renewal rates were strong, 92.8% in the US and Canada, and 90.5% worldwide. Membership grew by 7.6%, totaling 72 million paid household members. Gross margin rose by 43 basis points year over year, hitting 11.04%. Strong membership growth and an impressive gross margin indeed. Time to delve into the SG&A and other financial highlights. Starting with selling, general and administrative expenses, we see a reported SG&A of 9.45%. Which is higher by 25 basis points than last year. Breaking it down, operations were higher by 18 basis points, excluding gas deflation. Meanwhile, central was a mere 1 basis point higher, again excluding gas deflation. Stock compensation saw a slight decrease of 2 basis points, while pre-opening expense was 2 basis points higher. Now let's touch on interest expense and income. The interest expense was $38 million, a $4 million increase from last year. On the other hand, interest income and others soared to a whopping $160 million this year, a significant leap from $53 million last year. As for the tax rate, it was 24.5%, a 1.5 percentage point increase from last year. A comprehensive look at the financial highlights. Expansion and capital expenditures, key to future growth. The first quarter saw the inauguration of 10 new locations, further extending our reach. This is just the beginning, with a total of 33 locations planned for opening throughout fiscal 2024. Capital expenditures are also on the rise. The first quarter experienced an expenditure of approximately $1.04 billion. The estimated capital expenditure for the entirety of fiscal 24 is projected to range between $4.4 to $4.6 billion. Let's shift gears and talk about the e-commerce landscape. The first quarter saw e-commerce sales, excluding foreign exchange, increase by 6.1%. The period also witnessed over 800,000 deliveries, a 17% increase compared to last year. App downloads during the quarter hit 2.75 million, bringing the total app downloads to a staggering 30.5 million. a promising expansion and e-commerce strategy in place. Before we conclude, let's touch upon inflation and dividends. The estimated inflation for the quarter was between 0 and 1%. Now onto dividends. A special cash dividend of $15 per share was declared, with the payment due on January 12th to shareholders of record as of December 28th. That wraps up Costco's Q1 fiscal 24 performance. For more information, the description is below to join a community of like-minded traders.
Arieous Invest. Trading reimagined.